Our story today takes us to Jerusalem, a city regarded as sacred by Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It lies within Israel, the only nation in the Middle East where Judaism is the majority religion. Let's take us back when this land was once the home of the Canaanites, a land the Bible calls Canaan, given to the Israelites as the Promised Land. At its heart stood Jerusalem, today the capital of Israel, and for thousands of years the most contested city on earth. Jerusalem, the holy city, sacred to Jews, to Christians, and to Muslims. Here, King Solomon built the first temple, a house of glory that later fell to the Babylonians. It was rebuilt, and in time King Herod raised the magnificent Second Temple, only for it to be destroyed once more, by the Romans. Yet even as empires rose and fell, Jerusalem remained the heart of faith and conflict. In 638, the Muslims entered the city, bringing peace and honoring its sanctity. But in 1099, the Crusaders came with fire and blood, seizing Jerusalem for Christendom. And now, in the year 1187, a single battle would decide its fate forever. In 1099, the Crusaders seized Jerusalem in a storm of blood, and for nearly a century, they ruled the holy city. But by the late 12th century, their kingdom was fragile. Across the sea, in France, a young blacksmith named Balian would be drawn into this holy war. His journey, from the forge to knighthood, would lead him to Jerusalem itself. In the city, King Baldwin IV, the leper king, held the realm together with wisdom and mercy. Yet his sickness consumed him, and with his death, Jerusalem was left divided and leaderless. The Crusader kingdom, once strong, now stood on the edge of collapse, and the armies of Islam were gathering. While the Crusaders quarreled among themselves, a new power was rising in the east. His name was al-ad-Din, Saladin. Born in Tikrit, he rose from a soldier to a leader, uniting Egypt and Syria under one banner of Islam. To his followers, he was a man of faith and justice. To his enemies, he was a commander whose patience was as sharp as his sword. Unlike many warlords of his age, Saladin fought not only with steel, but with strategy. He chose his battles carefully, striking only when victory was certain. And where others showed cruelty, he often showed mercy, earning respect across the Muslim world, and even among his Christian foes. Now, with his armies gathered and his people united, Saladin set his eyes on Jerusalem, the city of prophets. In the summer of 1187, the fate of Jerusalem would be decided on a barren hill in Galilee, the Horns of Hattin. The Crusaders, led by King Guy of Lusignan and the fiery knight Reynald de Châtillon, marched to face Saladin. But Saladin was a master of patience. He lured them into the open desert, where the sun was merciless, the wells were dry, and thirst burned the Crusader army from within. Surrounded, exhausted, and desperate, the Crusaders made their final stand. Saladin's forces rained arrows upon them, the desert winds carrying fire through their ranks. The mighty army of Jerusalem crumbled. King Guy was captured. Reynald, who had broken truces and raided Muslim caravans, was brought before Saladin. With calm resolve, Saladin struck him down, justice for his treachery. And most devastating of all, the relic of the true cross, the Crusaders' holiest banner, was seized by Saladin. At Hattin, the Crusader kingdom was broken. The road to Jerusalem now lay open. After Hattin, nothing stood between Saladin and Jerusalem. His armies marched upon the holy city, walls scarred by time, its defenders few. Inside, panic spread. The nobles were gone, the king was captive. Only one man stepped forward, Balian, the blacksmith from France, now a knight of Jerusalem. Though outnumbered and facing certain defeat, Balian rallied the people. Men, women, even children took to the walls. For days, they endured the thunder of siege engines and the storm of arrows, their faith holding stronger than stone. At last, Balian met Saladin face to face. He warned that if the city was taken by force, it would be destroyed, its people slaughtered, its holy sites ruined. But Saladin was not a man of blind vengeance. In an act of mercy, he offered terms: Jerusalem would surrender, and its people would live. the Christians were allowed safe passage to the coast. The Jews, long banished by the Crusaders, were welcomed back. The Muslims returned to their holy places. On October 2, 1187, Jerusalem fell, not in fire and blood, but in an act of honor that echoed through history. Jerusalem today. A city of stone and spirit. For centuries, it has been fought over, prayed over, and dreamed of. But beyond battles and kings, it endures because it is holy to three faiths. For Christians, it is the place of Christ's crucifixion and resurrection, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre standing as a beacon of their salvation. For Muslims, it is the site of Al-Aqsa and the Dome of the Rock, where the Prophet Muhammad ascended to the heavens, making it the third holiest site in Islam. And for Jews, it is the ancient heart of their faith, the city of David, and the last remnant of their temple, the Western Wall. Jerusalem is not just a city. It is a symbol of faith, of struggle, of hope. And though empires rise and fall, Jerusalem remains eternal, the city of God.